it's Rav. Welcome to Everyday Investor, the hottest investment show in the world. That's right, I said it. I don't care who knows it. Remember, whenever you're introduced to any type of investment opportunity, you always want to ask 4 questions to start. Number 1, what is the return on investment? 2, when do I get that return along with the money that I put in? 3, what is the minimum amount needed? And 4, what is the risk? The Everyday Investor TV show is all about helping you grow your money. We take our precious time to go to work to be able to make money in order to eat. We take our time, we go to work, we get money in order to provide. But imagine a world if we could allow money to make us money so we could work a little less, have more time for the things that matter most. The significant other, your children, your friends, perhaps a purpose that's greater than yourself. That's what the show's all about. Thank you so much for watching. Super excited about this one. I have a veteran investor, good friend, Matt Piche, and he's going to be teaching us how we can make money investing in the flip. Don't worry, you can get involved without even having to lift a hammer. Don't go anywhere. Everyday Investor continues in a moment. Hey, it's Rav. Welcome back to Everyday Investor. Talking to my good friend Matt about how we can make money passively and actively investing in the flip. Matt, thanks so much for being on the show with me.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Yes, purple looks good on you.
Yeah, it looks good.
Purple or burgundy, or I never know. My kids always make fun of me. They think I'm colorblind. Often where I go wrong is sometimes I confuse blue and gray. But I think they're wrong. I'm right. Nonetheless, looking handsome like usual. What are you doing during these COVID times? I know a big why of investment is so that you can get some sunshine, you can get some time with Rachel and friends. What have you been doing during these COVID times? Here we are, kind of near the end of the year, 2020. What's Matt been doing?
Yeah, I've kind of been hanging out in the summer. Just enjoying the sun as much as we can, going to a cottage, going to a spa, doing everything we can do within Ontario. Come this wintertime, we'll see. We're hoping to get out. We're hoping to leave and go somewhere sunny. We'll see what the times have for us.
Yeah, and right now as it stands, you can. I mean, you just pick a spot where there's cases are very low, and if you don't mind wearing a mask on an airplane for a couple of hours, and I know your vacations aren't necessarily 3-4 days. Sometimes you go for 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, couple months, that kind of thing. So if you found the right spot, I mean, I need my vitamin D. If COVID doesn't get me, then mental health issues will, right? So I need my sunshine. I know you do as well, but thanks for teaching us and nurturing the viewers today. You have all sorts of different strategies in the toolbox, but one that I know you love to do, and Mr. Piche gets to niche like that in the flip strategy. And so talk a little bit about how the flip works and how Rav can get involved in your flip even without having to lift a hammer. So there's both parts, right? There's the money part of it, and then there's actually the execution. So kind of before we go to the numbers and write it all down, talk to me about the concept of flip, because most people think it can be very dangerous when it comes to real estate investing.
Yeah, thanks. So flips can definitely be a more advanced strategy. And I always tell everybody that flipping is not easy. It can be easy once you have a system in place, teams in place, but that usually requires you to be a veteran in most cases. So the buy and holds are really great for that, boring building wealth, which I really love. But once you become more advanced, it's usually a good fit for most investors to go into flipping. So flipping essentially is a basic concept, but it's hard to execute. But the basic concept is buying a property as low as you can, usually off market. We're not really buying these flips off the MLS. It's just too hard to find a real deal. Great for rental properties, but MLS is hard for flips. So we're buying these properties off market, direct from seller at a low price. We're going to renovate it, make it look all amazing, and then we're going to sell it for retail on the market at top price. That's essentially the whole strategy. Sounds easy, not very easy though.
I mean, it's easy for you because, again, you have the systems in place, you know how to find the properties, you have some advertising, marketing budgets, all that kind of stuff. But, Matt, I want people that don't know you. You're a great guy. And I know that, you would not want to take advantage of someone. When you say you buy undervalued, off market, you still create a win-win. And I know that. So give me a couple of examples, whether you've done it or not, or you've heard about it, where you can pick up a property undervalued, so you win as the flipper, but grandma wins as well, perhaps, if she needed to get out of the property. Talk a little bit about that in terms of acquiring it.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So we're definitely not taking advantage of people at all. So good point for bringing that up. We're buying it under market comparison to realtor prices. So what often happens, especially in my area, which is just outside of GTA, it's a hot market. Everybody knows it. So it's not like we're buying these properties hundreds of thousands under what they should be. It's usually, if you take off the commissions and then maybe 10 or 20,000 more on top of that, that's what we're buying these deals at. But in exchange, we're closing whenever they want. Could be 7 days, 7 months. We don't care. They're leaving the house as is. It's usually, pretty beat up. There's stuff everywhere, clothes, furniture everywhere. Like, this house probably could never really sell on the MLS anyway. So we're buying these houses as is, and we're making it so easy for the sellers. So they're okay, trading, the 10 or 20,000 they could have got more by doing with a realtor. They're okay because we're providing the ease of closing the deal today. It's a super easy transaction. So that's kind of how the flipping works in my area, and most of Canada, really. It's a very hot market. Everybody knows it. So yeah, you're not getting these crazy under market value deals, just win-wins. The seller's happy, the deal's over, it's done, they can move on. They don't have to clean, do nothing. We win because we get a slightly undervalued house, and then we're going to win again when we sell it, and then the new buyer wins because they get a nice brand new house. So it's a win-win-win all around.
Back in the day, I used to be a real estate agent. I used to be a real estate broker. My son, actually, 19 years old, he has his license just for fun, for giggles. I know you have your real estate license. And so we're not talking down upon realtors. Many of them are friends. I love them, and great-hearted people. What you're saying is, if you find a house that, market value generally is $400,000, well, not everybody's a declutter freak. Not everyone's a minimalist. People have a lot of things. And so there's a lot of work to do to get that to present well. So if it's $400,000, you minus the 5% average commissions, you're then at 480, and then there's a lot of work to do. So maybe you bring it down to 460 or so. Market value is 500. Matt picks it up for 460, put some lipstick on it, or maybe even more, lifts the price because now it's above average. And that's how you make your wins of your 60, 70, 80,000. I'm not sure what the numbers are. We'll look at that here in a few minutes. But that's generally what you're saying. Grandma's happy. You're happy. Rav is happy if I was the money partner in this deal. And it's a win-win-win.
Yeah, that's exactly how they work in a nutshell. Like, every flip we have is 99% of the time, just as what you mentioned. Or a lot of times we get sellers who just don't want to deal with a realtor. They literally say, I hate realtors. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want people walking through my home. And then I have to tell them by law, because I am a realtor, I have to say, I am a realtor. Oh, that's fine, because you're cool. I'll sell to you. So some people just don't want to deal with the realtor process, which is fine.
Believe it or not, I'm coming into, in 2021, my 17th year on TV teaching real estate. But the whole premise was birthed from a friend of mine, even though I was a realtor, a friend of mine that didn't like realtors, and he created and produced a TV show, just kind of talking about commissions and talking about how hard you work or don't work. And so that was actually the birth of the show, was from somebody that wanted to not get back at, but was just disgruntled with the, a lot of people, people don't understand. If you have a great, it's like a doctor. There's a lot of great doctors out there, and there's lots that aren't that great. There's lots of great lawyers, lots of great accountants, lots of great realtors, and then sure, there's a lot that aren't that great. And so, we have to be careful that we don't, generalize. Okay, Matt, so that's great. Let's take a quick break, and then let's look at the numbers here in terms of how we can make money investing in the flip. I'm talking to my good friend, Matt Piche. He is a veteran investor who niches mostly in the flip world. Yes, it can be done if you're a smart guy like him, or if you will just even want to be a money partner. He's always looking for people to do that as well. Everyday Investor continues in a moment. Don't go anywhere. Hey, it's Rav. Welcome back to Everyday Investor. We're talking to my good friend Matt about how we can make money in the flip, regardless if we're doing it ourselves or we are the money partner lending the money. Matt, thanks for teaching us, nurturing us. So here I am on the board with my marker. So talk to me about the flip and how you did this. So you have a marketing team, you find undervalued properties, you minus commissions, and sometimes you put a little lipstick in, sometimes you do a lot more. So on this particular one, how long ago was it?
Yeah, this particular one was about 2 months ago. This was a big flip. That's why I want to talk about, because a very good one. So yeah, big flip, totally run down. The seller lived in it since they built the house, which is in the 60s. Just, outdated, old stuff everywhere. So the classic deal we were talking about in the first segment, where people just don't want to sell it on the market. It's not showable enough for that.
Yeah, I mean, I always say that you need to do three things. For those of you that are thinking about selling your home, three things. You need to make sure it gets the exposure. So unless you've got Matts out there that are hunting it down, it needs to be on the MLS. Generally speaking, you need exposure. You need to price it right. If we price too high, we just help other people sell their homes. So don't be greedy. Make sure that you understand the market value and price it accordingly. If you need to set up kind of a bidding war, you can even do that. But thirdly, and that's what Matt's talking about, is it does have to present well. There's something emotional about buying a home, and if it doesn't present well, most people can't see past, oh, I could just paint that, or I could replace that. So thank you, Matt, for that advice. Yeah, you go into places that there's people that just, it doesn't present well, they know it, and so they just be wasting their time. A lot of time, months and months and months. Now it gets stale. Somebody might even offer a lot less than you would be doing, and so that's how you pick up these properties. So on this one, the purchase price was what?
Yeah, so we bought this one for $425,000. It's a nice classic bungalow.
And this was how far outside of Toronto?
1 hour south.
1 hour south of TO. Okay, so 425. And so bungalows, they're nice to work with, right? Because there's a lot, they have a big kind of main floor square footage. You could do something on top. You can, they have a nice basement. If you can find a walkout, even better. Tell me a little bit about this one.
Yeah, so it's a classic bungalow. Yeah, people in my area specifically love these, right? Because it's especially good for older people that want one floor, no stairs. So very attractive to buyers. So that's why we jumped all over it when they wanted to sell it real quick. It was a perfect deal for everybody.
Okay, great. So walk me through some numbers. How did we buy it?
Yeah, so we bought it all cash or with a private lender. So we did that. So we'll talk about the renovations first, I guess. So we spent $130,500 in renovations, which was everything: paint, floor, trim, kitchens, bathrooms, plumbing, wiring. You name it. The whole house got pretty much redone.
So your renos cost $135,000.
Yeah.
Okay, and that included everything. And did that include? So was there one? So let's just say it's Rav. So Rav gave you the money for these renos, but who paid for the 425? Was it paid outright? Was it 20% down? Like, how much did Rav have to put out?
So this was a private lender of ours who gave up the whole 425 for 12% interest. So that's what we do for flips.
Okay, so they just paid it all.
Paid it all, yeah. So they put a first mortgage on the property, you could say, but it was really, a cash lending deal for us. But yeah, so they gave the first mortgage for 100% of the value.
Got it. So they put it. So Rav gave you the 425 plus Rav gave you the 135.
Yeah, in this case, the 135 we use because just for our cash that we had for our business. But most times we'll also get lending for all of it, the renovation and the purchase.
Okay, and what else?
Yeah, so we had financing at 12% on the 425. So that whole lending fee, you could say, was $27,000. We paid our lender $27,000.
And because okay, 12% was your fee, 27. This came out of your own pocket. But if I did both, it would be 12% of both.
Exactly, yeah. And we do that most times. Just in this case, we forked out the renovation. Just the timing in our business, we had the money to pay for that ourselves.
Okay, great. So that's your fee there. Closing costs?
Closing costs were just under $4,000. That was for lawyer fees and that was for holding costs during the property. Sorry about that.
That's okay. So to hold it,
our closing cost was $8,500 for the closing costs. That was for land transfer, lawyers, stuff like that.
So holding is what?
$4,000. So I mixed that up. So it'll be 8,000 exactly. Yeah, 8,500.
No, but I'm saying, what is this? What does that mean, holding 4K?
Holding costs would be like insurance for the months that we carried it, utilities, property taxes, things of that nature. Yeah,
Okay.
water, gas, hydro, all that.
Okay, great. What else?
Yeah, and then we got the realtor fees when we sold the property, which is 15,200. So me being a realtor, I only pay the one side when I sell it, which is great. So I pay the 2% to sell. I don't pay the other 2% because I am the realtor. So I list for free.
Okay. So you paid the other half, the one that brought the buyer, when you were done. This whole thing took how long, by the way?
4 months from close to close. So the renovation itself took 3 months. When we sold it, the buyer closed in a month after that. So it was a pretty quick deal.
Wow, 4 months.
Yeah. So our private lender there made 27,000 in 4 months in net profit.
That's amazing. Okay. So now how does Matt make money?
Yeah. So after all that, and then we sold the property for 675,000.
You sold for how much?
675.
675K.
Leaving us a profit of just under 65,000.
So you made a profit. Can we see this? Am I too low? Is that too low on the? No, it's good. How much?
Just under 65,000, 64,700 basically.
$65,000. So basically, Matt, you made in 4 months, you made $65,000, and the person who lent you the money, some of it, made $27,000.
Exactly.
So Rav made $27,000, and you made $65,000. This is a debt deal from Rav's perspective. It's not an equity deal where we would split the 65. It's a debt deal where I'm lending you money and I get paid 12% on that. Is that first of all, this is amazing. Is this the going rate? Is that what you normally would pay out? I mean, I've often heard anywhere from 8 to 12%. Why sometimes 8%, Matt? And why sometimes 12% in the industry?
So people who get 8% are typically lending lower amounts. It could be 30,000, 50,000, 75,000. Once we get up to 100,000 and plus, usually around 10% for most people. Once you get up to 400s and buying a whole house for someone, we're up to the 12, even 14%, depending. So the cool thing about private lending is it's kind of like the Wild Wild West, where like the lender can make all the rules, and then the person receiving the money can either say yes or no. So it's kind of a free-for-all, kind of. But 8 to 12 is a normal, good range.
Here's Rav. I made 27,000 in 4 months. You're not just doing one a year. You do several projects. Obviously, I'm going to stay with you and keep doing this.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah, of course. And so you make your 65, and that's the profit. That's after paying Rav and anything else that you have to pay. This is your profit, 65,000 in 4 months.
Yeah, net profit.
And so Matt, are you doing this yourself? Are you doing any of it yourself? Or do you have different kind of reno crews that are doing this for you?
Yeah, so at this point, we have a whole team kind of working for us, which is great. So we have about 2 contracting teams that do all of our projects, whether they're rental properties or flips. They do all of our renos. So we keep them busy all year. So they're kind of, in a sense, our employees, in a sense, where they work for our business, which is great. And then recently, the past year, I hired a project manager because we're doing too many projects. And I'm also a full-time realtor. I do a YouTube channel, all this. It was too much. So the project manager runs all the jobs. She stays on top of everything. She's absolutely amazing. So literally, the only time I see the property is when we close on it. I'll shoot a before video walkthrough for the YouTube channel, and I'll shoot one at the very end. That's the only times I see the property, is at the beginning and the end. That's it.
So, not to give this away to CRA, but Matt, how many are these? I mean, what's your goal? How many do you do in a year?
Yeah, we do about 15 to 20 flips a year.
15 to 20 flips a year, and with those 2 crews.
Exactly, yeah.
And so what you've taught me before is to make it really easy. We're both that way. We're minimalists and like things very simple. you do the exact same, the paint, the fridge, the stove, the carpet if one needs one, everything you use is turnkey, right? You know exactly to the SKU, to the number, to the store, where there's no guessing in that. Is that right?
Yeah, we have like almost everything figured out. All of our houses pretty much look the exact same. Every single one gets the same flooring, same paint, same door color, same bathroom tile, etc. And then it makes it easy for the project manager to run the jobs and order the material. It makes it easy for the contractor because they know what the house is going to look like and how to renovate it. So once the whole crew does one or two, they've done 50. You know what I mean? It's all the same after that. So it just makes life super easy. We have a good color scheme, so we know what the market wants in our area. It sells every time. So we just triple down and use it over and over again.
If anyone's interested in being a money lender, they can get a hold of you.
Definitely, 100%. We're always looking.
All right, Matt. Thank you so much for being my friend. Thank you so much for being a wise, smart guy, and for teaching and nurturing me, like always, and the viewers at home. Really appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. And thank you for watching. Without you guys or listening via podcast, without you, we wouldn't have a show. Always so grateful. Until next week, same place, same time. We'll see you then. Honey, I love you. I'll be home soon. Thanks for watching, everyone.